Okay,
Here we are.
I think we should be live. There's usually a bit of a delay on the thing there, so we're live and people are watching. Hello,
Welcome.
I'm Matt Dean,
And I'm Dave Bradley.
and this is the first ever Latics Football Phone In. Well, first ever on the Boundary Park Alert System YouTube channel. Anyway,
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting night. Talking a bit of Latics, the game against Bristol and the upcoming game against Newport. And
Resurrection.
yeah, it is definitely on. 3 games.
You've got one, have you?
We talked about that.
I think you look like Graham Sharp in that shirt, you know.
Well, you look like Gunnar Haller.
All right.
I'm not taking Graham Sharp. I'm sorry, but I'm definitely not.
Why?
He was such a bad manager.
That doesn't mean you don't look like him, Dave.
I don't look like Graham Sharp.
In that shirt, you look like Graham Sharp.
A, he's Scottish. B, I'm taller than him. And C,
you look like Graham Sharp in that shirt.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you that. It is long sleeved as well for all the fans out there.
He's got a collection of match worn.
Yeah, do like a match worn. So if you got any, get in touch.
So this is a football phone in, which means if you're a Latics fan, we need you to phone in. Now, we don't have a phone number, so obviously we're doing it online. What we need you to do, if you want to make a contribution, which we're dearly hoping because we've scheduled an hour for this, and otherwise Dave's going to be doing Graham Sharp impersonations for an hour, which could go your way, could go mine.
Definitely your
Either way, one of us is going down.
We went down with Graham Sharp, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
Stop talking about going down. We're going to stay up.
Sorry. I've got Alan Partridge in there as well. So, yeah, what we need you to do if you want to join in is email laticsfootballphonein@gmail.com and we'll send you a link. And then you click on that link and you can talk to us. Now, you don't have to be on video like we are. You can just be on audio. You just have to deselect it. It tells you what to do in the email. But we really want to hear your thoughts on footballing matters, because I mean, what a week or two it's been, a few weeks since Harrogate. It's been absolutely ridiculous. And obviously the Boundary Park Alert System podcast, if you listen to that every week, it's been a struggle. We've been talking about the serious issues that affect Latics, and that's going to continue. But we also felt that we wanted to talk about the football with a bit more depth, didn't we? And preview games and that kind of stuff. Because we've got Newport coming up tomorrow.
Yeah,
Dave's got a load of facts and stats and stuff. So if none of you phone in, get ready for an hour of loads of stats.
It's Stato Dave. Yeah, you don't want that.
No, in Graham Sharp's accent. It could be amusing for a minute or two at least. So
well, definitely, yeah. You just the last 3 weeks has been amazing. Suffice to say, hasn't it? Really, we both went to Harrogate. We stood at Harrogate at half time, and we just said we are in big trouble.
Can you hear yourself in your headphones? Oh yeah, I can now.
Yeah, I can hear us.
Yeah. I think I just need to turn that up a bit actually.
Yeah, we were in big trouble. We were in big trouble at that point, weren't we? Playing out from the back, 3-5-2 formation. Well, 3-5. Well, it wasn't even 2 up front, was it? Really, it was really bad.
It was 2, 4, 6, 8. Never too late. Salim was just.
Yeah, the lovely Montclair gilet though. I've got to give him that. You don't think?
I thought he looked like a larvae.
He pulled it off quite well. I thought he did. To be fair to the guy,
do you think?
Do you know what? A white gilet at a football match. It's like what wags wear, but he did pull it off quite well. To be fair,
what wags wear? That sounds like an ITV4 program.
Well,
idea for a program.
Monkey tennis. Yeah.
So I know. And the thing is, at a time when survival is paramount, playing out from the back. I watched yesterday a bit of Premier League was on BT over this week, and teams still do it against the likes of City and Liverpool who press on you, and it makes me head hurt. Just get rid of it. Stop putting yourself under pressure in your own penalty area where the opposition can score, and that's what we were doing, innit? And it was just asking for trouble. And as soon as Shez has come in, the ball gets umphed. If it needs to get umphed, it gets umphed.
Well, 4-4-2, isn't it? 4-4-2, as Sheza says. But when we spoke to Davies Carl, I don't know, after the Bristol game, you asked him, didn't you? You said, what's changed? It's the same set of players, but what's he brought in? But he didn't say anything that was derogatory to Salim because he's, uber professional, but you could see in his eyes the passion had just changed. Everything had completely changed. Harrogate was one of the worst games of football I think I've ever seen since the 7-1 Cardiff defeat at home. When we put Andy Gorham in net for his spell.
Yeah.
Where he had about...
I remember that game, but I wasn't here. I was on a weekend away for someone's birthday in the Lake District, and I remember setting off with my mates, and I remember we went up this hill, came back, and checking the score, we as always, and it was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that then.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's just...
It happens from time to time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You get a walloping every now and again, and it does happen.
But Harrogate weren't a good team. They weren't a good team. They had 3 chances. They could have had more, to be fair, but Luke Wiley pulled off 3 fantastic saves in the second half. And I just think that it really, really, needed to change. And the animosity after that game at the tunnel was just a sight to behold, really. I was quite shocked because there was some real verbals, wasn't there, when they were playing it out from the back, even in the first half. Luke Wiley was getting panned by his own fans, and it wasn't his fault because they can only play what they're taught. What they train, what they do in the training for the week.
But don't you want to see some characters on the pitch? Don't you want to see some people say the pitch saying, no, what's he going to do? He's not going to drag him off, is he? I mean, like, sometimes I think I want to see leaders on the pitch say, this is stupid, let's stop doing this.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that these guys are, they're professionals, aren't they? If you taught from a young age to follow the manager's instructions, you're only going to get dropped for the next game. Look at McGahey. He's featured ever since Shez has come back into the fold. And you know what? He's been absolutely fantastic. I think he's one of the standout players, if I'm honest with you. And that defence, other than the Bristol goal, which was a great goal in the build-up, they don't look as shaky as they did under Curl and Salim because they've just got this confidence, and it just seems like a different team. I cannot put it into words how it's changed, and I don't think anyone can. I think that's quite baffling, isn't it? What the effect Shez has had, and he talks about laughing, joking, just wants the players to relax because they've had a hard time, and he's empathised with the string of results, and I think he's just got a massive reaction just by being relaxed around him. God only knows what Curl and Salim were saying to them. You know what I mean? It must have been a very negative atmosphere in training, and I can only surmise that Shez has just come in and just said, we just need to relax, we just need to win games, as simple as that. And that's what he keeps on saying. If any manager could do that and get the results, it's the easiest job in the world. He must have some other...
I think that the conditions that Shez is working under are a little bit different. I think because of the situation, because of the desperate nature of where we're at, I think whereas Curl and Salim were working under more, the situation now is that Shez is in charge as well. And I think that helps because that's what we've wanted to happen. And Shez has come in and that's what he's doing. He's working on his own. Plus, he's been in this situation before. So he's not coming into it panicking, whereas I think probably some of the other guys were panicking a little bit. And I turned around at the match on Saturday, and it was Arlene and Andy that were sat behind me. And I turned around to him and I said, Salim was trying to turn us into Real Madrid, and Shez has turned us into Oldham. And that's all that we needed to do, because all this playing out at the back and getting carried away with yourself. Look at what you've got. We're Oldham. We're second bottom or bottom of the league. Play to your strengths. Get the players working, enjoying themselves, and doing all the stuff that Shez has done. McGahey, you made a couple of points about him. One of the biggest cheers of the night down the Rochester Road end was just a tussle that he had with their fullback and shielded the ball out of play. Just the determination. And then that ball that he played down the touchline, that curler for Keeler Dunn, absolutely beautiful ball. It was just like a completely different player, like you said. He didn't play against Harrogate, but he came and walked down the tunnel at the end with a face like thunder. He looked so annoyed.
He getting dropped isn't easy, is it? But when he's been a stand-up performer and he put Diarra in on Boxing Day with regards to not playing, it's putting Diarra in defence. It was just a recipe for disaster. Do you know what I mean? It was just.
I know.
It's not the best.
Have we just had an email asking for a link?
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
that means we're going to have a caller on.
Hopefully.
I just want to read out a tweet. Tommy Bostock has said, "Fair play to Graham Sharp for taking some time out of his Friday." So,
Tommy Bostock,
yeah,
we're going to be having words if we ever meet, mate. I'm better looking than Graham Sharp. I'm not having that one hanging over me.
A girl at my school used to have a big crush on Graham Sharp back when he played for us back in the day.
But, well, different strokes for different people,
well, It's not for me to say.
I would have thought Sean McCarthy. I've got a bit of a double chin going on.
Maybe.
Yeah, and he was most certainly a great striker, as I wasn't. I was probably the worst footballer ever. But going back to Scunthorpe, you went. I couldn't attend that game, unfortunately. What was it like in that? It was a 6-pointer. And what I heard on the radio from Mikey Brown and Roy was they were just ready to go, weren't they? But before we get onto that, it looks like we have a caller, it's Chris.
The 6-pointer.
Just turn your speakers down there, Chris, mate, please.
Sorry, lads. Am I on video or am I just on telephone? I don't want to scare you.
You're on video.
Yeah, you look very lovely.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, it's a good angle.
Why am I upside down?
Welcome. Thanks for being our first caller, Chris. It certainly makes it a football phone in when somebody phones in. Otherwise, it was just me and him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that one. Go on.
Are you the Chris Stringer that's in France then?
I'm that bastard that's in France. Yeah. Well, that one that were on that phone in last week, that football phone in the lower league. Look.
Yeah. Well, there you are. You're on another one now.
Yeah, a better one.
I've become a podcast whore.
Well, you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
No,
there's plenty of us now.
I wanted to phone up, but I have got a valid point. I was waiting to see what the response was like, and I'm a bit poor. But Latics fans, get your finger out and get on this fucking thing. Listen, seriously.
Hey, can we try and keep the language? Sorry, because we're live, so we want to try and.
Sorry,
I apologize. No worries.
Edit that out tomorrow. No, listen, seriously. What I think we need to get on this. I think what you're doing is great with the podcast. I look forward to your podcast every week. I've done for months, lads. It's brilliant. However,
thanks.
I'm a bit worried, me, that we've got this great feeling at the moment going at the club, but we've got like all this euphoria behind Johnny Sheridan, and it's great. And I feel really good at the moment. I don't know why. It's a really weird feeling. It's a new sensation for a couple of years. But lads, listen, probably more than me because I live over in France, as you know. I'm worried that in the background with what's going on with, and I'm not going to start slagging off our owner. Have we took the foot off the pedal? Is he still going to sell it? There's been no communication. There's been no, even if Abdallah would just say, look, I'm still on with it, lads. I appreciate what Shez is doing. I fear we're going to get bloody turned over. Backscuttled by him, and I'm not trying to be nasty or negative or not the situation, but I really feel that he's got to give us a bit of confidence that he really is going to sell our club to a prospective decent owner, with all respect, without more.
Yeah, I mean, all this with Shez at the minute is great because we had all lost hope, hadn't we? And it is important because I think that, if Salim was still in charge, we would be going down. And Shez has turned it around in 3 games. And there's a long way to go. We're not out of the woods by a long, long stretch. And I think the fans have played a big part by getting back into the stadium and back in the team. And like I said on the podcast a good few times, Chris, it was hard staying away. It was hard taking that stance when you feel that the club and the team need you when you're down at this in this dogfight. But at the same time, like you said, we need to keep our eye on that situation as well. And I think the main thing to say to you is, PTB, OASF are keeping an eye on that situation, and we are in contact with the club, and we are going to keep putting the pressure on in that respect, because they've made that promise now. They said that this is what their intention is to sell the club. And, we've not got to this situation with Shez because it was through good management. We've got to this situation because it was a last desperate throw of the dice.
It was a knee-jerk reaction. It was a knee-jerk reaction to the Salim situation at Harrogate. Bloody hellfire, lads. It were awful, wasn't it? It was terrible.
I know.
Yeah, it was appalling. But it's only been 3 weeks, since Shez has come in. And there's 2 wins, 1 draw.
Hey,
You know,
I'm happy.
I think
Listen, life's different. The wife was cheating on Tuesday night. I've not seen that for ages. It was brilliant. It was fantastic. It's like, even my grandson's going to start behaving so he can stop being grounded and watch it again. You know what I mean? But listen, why you covered all the points then about the PTB and the fund, every all the society, different associations that are going on. What is with all the bits? I mean, there's a guy, because his initials are KB. I'm at a loss at what things are being posted on social media. I mean, literally, lads, he rips your back out for God knows what. I don't know what he's got against you. You must have. Oh, I won't be rude, but you've got to be. He's got some kind of envy here, lads. You know what I mean? And I don't get it. Why aren't we just sticking together? And what is the bitchiness all about, lads? Please tell me.
Well, this is why we wanted to do it. Me and Matt had to sit down. I think just coming up to Scunthorpe, and we just sort of said, we just want to bring some positivity back. You know, with the podcast, Boundary Pack Alerts with PTB, it's all seemed to be like sort of resisting what's going on and trying to fight it and protesting, which is very admirable because people want to love the club and they believe that they want to change it. But now the owner hasn't come out and said he is selling it. We've got to try and take him for his word in some respect. He's brought Sheridan. He's doing the right things. The signings of Fondop and Odibayi are not the signings of Mo, are they? They're definitely Sheridan signings. So it's small steps, I think. You know, in this, we're still in a precarious situation. We're second from bottom, and we're still, 2 points off Carlisle. All right, we've got a game in hand, but we've just really got to just give him not the benefit of the doubt, but we've just got to give him that time to sell a club, because they're not going to come out and say we're talking to this guy, we're talking to that guy because of NDAs. However, we wanted to concentrate on the football with this podcast. Look at the results against Rochdale. All right, ideally we could have got a win, but I don't think we deserve to win. I think Rochdale were a miles better team. But going to Scunthorpe away, knowing that they'd just done us over 3-1 at Boxing Day with 2 new signings, one of which got injured in the first 20 minutes, to come away with a result the way we did and batter him in the second half, from what I saw, was fantastic. And then to come home at Bristol Rovers, who were a good footballing side, they picked us apart. We had 28% possession in that game. Yeah. And when they scored that first goal in the first half, I thought, goodness me, we're in trouble now for the second half. And I thought we were hanging on. But to be fair to the lads, they pressed, they got on the ball, every challenge was going in. They ran their absolute socks off. And you can only credit Sheridan for that. It's 7 points out of 9. It's great. It's great form, isn't it? For a relegation team. Look at the likes of what.
It's promotion for him. If you set that over the season, lads, we're up. You know what I mean? We move over for his screen. We're coming. But I mean, at the end of the day, the football has been absolutely. It's been euphoric. It's been an absolute revelation. I mean, again, not knocking Salim on this. Let's as you said, let's stick to the football. And let's stick to tomorrow, because we look like we've got a future. We look like we've got a tomorrow now. Thank the Lord. I think that with the way the team is set up, I feel quite confident. Even when Bristol Rovers scored the night, I weren't like going, "Oh God, is it going to be another turnaround like Scunthorpe on Boxing Day?" And I really feel that. I've always liked Sheridan. You can't. The guy's an hero to me. He's a legend. And I mean, if he does this time, seriously, I know we're talking about statues and God, the guy's is well. Listen. He's just gonna be cloned, hasn't he? And listen, do me a favour. If you do speak to him again, Matt, speak to him again. Listen, tell him, forget his poxy property business, stick with Latics next year, because we're going to be pushing for promotion next year if we stay in this football league, aren't we, with a new owner and new crowd?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, about next season, that transition to, and I think that we've struggled a bit, haven't we, in the past when Shez has come in. And done what he's done, and then the following season it's not been the same. I think that, I mean, I don't know where Shez stands. I don't know if he actually wants to carry on at Latics after this, or he's here just to do this job and that's it. I'm sure he'd be tempted anyway. I mean, it's only natural for him. But it seems to be that my personal view is that this is where he's at his best. When he's backs against the wall, where he's got nothing to lose, where he's in a fight, and it's a different game when you're saying that right now you need to plan for the next 3, 4, 5 years, which is ideally what we want at Latics. We need a manager that's going to stay at the club for 3, 4, 5 years and help us rebuild the football club. We'd all love it to be Shez, but he said it himself in one of the press interviews that he'd kind of like lost the love for it a bit himself, and he was kind of losing a bit. He was getting a bit bored of what he was doing, and whether or not he's able to sort of like find that spark again and probably develop himself as a coach and do things a bit differently so he's not bored is probably going to be important as to whether or not he wants to carry on or not. I mean, it wouldn't be like, I mean, that's why I think someone like Salim, like, again, not knocking the guy, he's done his best. He's tried to implement what he thought was going to, what he wanted to work. He doesn't have the experience which he was able to call upon. Going back to basics at this time is great for Shez. But going forward, you know, you need to be a bit more progressive, don't you? So
I think you're right. Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of manager we're going to have next. I mean, we change them that often. We have had good managers.
With Johnny Sheridan, if he were to stay and it were to go sour, it's probably a bit like I think Roger Palmer probably did one season too many. You know, Sheridan, if he saves us this time and he leaves us, if he saves us and leaves us, he's done his job and he's handed us across, hasn't he? Listen, lads, I'm going to ring off because there must be other people hopefully trying to get through to you. I'll say this: keep this going. I don't give a flying how many people are going to contact you tonight, but it's going to grow in it, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
Listen. He does look like Graham Sharp, but the bad news is, Matt, you look like his father. So crack on, lads. Listen, all the best, lads. Keep this up.
Chris, before you go, do you think we'll stay up?
Yeah. Don't ask me stupid questions on a Friday night when I've had a whiskey. Don't be daft, mate. Come on, crack on.
Well, I thought I'd just ask, but yeah, brilliant. Thanks for your call, Chris.
Keep going, both of them, lads. All right, lads. Good night, lads.
Keep the
faith. Bye.
Ta-da. So there we go. Let's call her.
Yeah, don't be scared. Get involved.
Yeah, I forgot to mention about language. Please try not to swear.
Yeah.
If you do, come on. But yeah, we need more calls. We haven't got anyone lined up there, have we?
Not as of yet, but they are coming.
I mean, this is the thing. You've got to just put it out there, haven't you? And hope, you know, if you build it, they will come, is what they say.
If you disagree with what we're saying, just talk to us. Just let's have a debate. We're up for a healthy debate. You know, these people who hide behind the Twitter handles and stuff like that, just come on the show. We're not scared. We talk about the football rather than, but you know, backroom gossip at the club. It's just not needed.
You know, footballing matters do involve, you know, the sporting director and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's valid what Chris was saying about, is there a potential temptation for the owners to stick around and think, well, maybe we can do that? You know, it's all valid. My personal opinions, everybody knows, but I think the most important thing is that Sheridan has got full autonomy over the first team, and that's obviously paying dividends. So that needs to stay as it is. The signings that we've made, I mean, I think that we saw that a lot of the teams around us were doing more business than we were, but they look like good signings, don't they? It looks like the squad's not big. That is a concern, but I know that Shez wants to try and play a set of 11 as much as possible anyway.
Yeah.
We just have to hope really that we're lucky when it comes to injuries and stuff, don't we? Because I think that now, from the look of it, I mean, look at the Rochdale game, the progress we made to the Scunthorpe game, and then again this progress to you can see the improvement game on game.
Yeah,
and that's without like Torpy and Big Mike playing in the third game against Bristol Rovers. So, you know, I think it's a Missalou as well. Let's not forget Missalou. I think he's been outstanding since he came back. He's certainly made Whelan a better player.
Yeah, Whelan had a fantastic game the other night. Sorry, I am listening. I'm just trying to respond to all these millions of emails for people trying to get involved.
Is that smoke coming out of your iPad?
Well, you'd be absolutely, you know,
incredible.
It's amazing. Technology, emails, it's just so futuristic. We've got all the tech.
I mean, so far so good. I think it seems to be working, and people obviously it's the technical. Oh, we've got 10 comments here that I've not seen. So let's have a look at them.
Let's have a look.
I don't know if you can see them. I think first things first. What is it? Would any other club want Sheridan? Surely we're his only option. No, everybody hates him. We love him. Like, we don't want him to go anywhere else anyway. Like, we're happy to keep him, aren't we? I think, Chesterfield, he did well there, didn't he? He did well at Plymouth, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. You know, Waterford was one of his last clubs as well. Wigan, Swindon, he was unlucky to go down there. But it's just difficult, isn't it? It's just, I don't know. Is he putting himself on a pedestal like he did with Notts County, potentially? If he keeps us up, we've got a caller. We've got a caller.
Here we go. Out to stream. Here we go.
It's Sam Gregory.
Hey, Sam.
Hi, lads. You all right?
Yeah, great.
Where are you calling from, Sam?
Dorset, actually.
Ooh,
very nice part of the world.
France, Dorset, not from Oldham as of yet.
Yeah, we're working our way north, right? You'll get there in a couple more callers. No, I thought just a couple of points, actually. Well done for organising it. And I'm another one who listens to the podcast, and you've been doing a lot of hard work there. And there's probably lots of people who don't get their boot in on Twitter and Facebook and everything else, but appreciate what you've been doing. So keep up the good work on that. So that's that's the nice bit out of the way. I think there's two things I wanted to talk about. The fact I'm in Dorset potentially is interesting because I'm an expat to the Manchester area, and I came up for the Rochdale game. I don't get to come much because I live so far away. It's 4 hours pretty much, and I had to come obviously for Rochdale, as did a lot of other people. And it was quite interesting that the in-stadium experience compared to, a few years ago, there's not anyone announcing the subs even, we've got no scoreboard, we ran out of pies, etc., etc. So I think there's just a little point I wanted to talk about that, but also just on the playing side of things, which I know you guys were keen to talk a little bit more about. The defence, obviously, we know is a lot more organised now, and Shez has sorted us out there. But I am petrified that if anything happens, especially to Pidge or McGahey in his new variant, we've got big problems in this short term. Forget about next year, forget about Shez. And I just wondered what you guys thought. If one of those two goes down, because they've been like not different players, Pidge's I think has been good all year personally. I know he makes the odd clanger, but he sticks his head in. If either of those two go down, or even Hart, who's been playing very well, what have we got? What are we going to do from a defensive point of view in these final 17, 18 games?
We've got problems. That's what we've got.
we have, but I've got a friend who's a Farsley Celtic fan, and I know it's Farsley, it's National League North, but Will Sutton is a standout player down there, and I think putting them on this work experience, what they're doing, they're moving it along, aren't they? Just to get him more experience, and I believe that he's head and shoulders above what's in the National League North. I know it's a different level, but there is a bit of positivity there that they could bring him in. But I know that Sheridan isn't very keen on bringing the younger kids in, like Vaughan and Couto, where Salim and Curl relied on them, because that's all they had. But Jordan Clark could slot in there potentially, but again, then it leaves the right back left wide open. But again, I'm sure he's got it at the back of his mind, Sheridan. He's been around the block, but it's a very, very good point you've made there, Sam. Definitely, I think that we could be in big trouble because I think Pidge went down in the Bristol game, and everyone's heart was in the mouth going, "Oh, I hope he doesn't go off," because he has been a warrior. And to be fair to McGahey, he sort of turned the corner. Under Shez, I think he can relate to Shez a bit more because they're both Manchester lads. God only knows what happened with Salim and. Because under Curl, I thought McGahey was a standout player as well. I thought he played really well. When he came in at the Rochdale away game,
his debut was brilliant. Yeah.
He was different class, but I think he just got dragged down. Ed Buckley says no need to fear. We've got Diarra as well, but you never know. Look at the.
That's why I'm fearing.
Yeah, but you've got the the Shez effect. Look at Whelan. He's a different player under Shez. I believe that, there is a rumour that Sean Gregan is involved on a coaching part-time basis, free of charge to the club. And he's been talking to, helping the defenders out as well. So that's an only positive. It's an unconfirmed rumour, but, it's always positive.
I know. Sorry. So, no, I was going to say, I know they've put Hart in the centre a couple of times, haven't they, as well? But he's so much better out on the left. But at least they could bring Couto back in on the left there. But obviously, like you say, Shez doesn't seem too keen on getting the younger lads in the, which is fair enough, I think, at the moment. Although I'm, gagging to see Vaughan get his foot on the ball a little bit. We still feel like we're missing that creativity around that 10 spot, don't we, to just pass it about
Definitely.
a bit.
Well, since Sheridan's come in, we've not been chasing a game, have we? So we've not. Yeah. I think he's probably just waiting until if we really, really need, and whatever's it's not working, and maybe like you say, Vaughan might come on and make an appearance. I think. What he's keen is not to feel like they're being relied upon. Like just go on with the freedom of for the last 20 minutes and maybe get involved in that way. But I like Pidge and McGahey. Certainly Pidge. They must play with injuries every week because you get knocks,
Yeah.
and you when you play football, and you're always sore, and the way that they throw themselves in, especially Pierre Gianni, he's one of these players that just gets on with it, but he must be sore, and hopefully it's just that's it, and he doesn't carry anything too serious.
But you got Adams as well, who can drop into the full-back position as well. You know, he did that at the start of the season. So, you know, there's always a bit of positive there, putting Couture up in a bit more of an advanced position as well. And Topi Adebayo as well coming in. You know, he can sort of revert to that winger sort of role. So there's a
lot of interest in Dylan Fage at right back as well. We have that on good authority.
Yeah.
Well,
watch
again,
the money
give these
roll.
players a chance. You've got to give him a chance under Shez. You've got to give him a chance. You know, he can change a player.
It is a good point, because the existing 11, the team that played against Bristol was basically the same players bar Missalu.
Yeah.
And they did look like different players, didn't they? So
yeah, that's true.
There's nothing, even the likes of Diarra and Fage, who haven't, to be fair, they haven't impressed. And if they were honest with themselves, we'd probably say that they haven't impressed.
These guys are professional footballers at the end of the day, and it's all about, nature, nurture. There's got to be that environment that they must have been in under Curl, and maybe the interference potentially coming in from the side, and then Salim coming in, where it's just probably a lot of interference from certain aspects in the club. I don't think Shez is going to stand for that. So I think that we've got a bit of a positive there, because I think Sheridan sort of shut the door to say, training's mine, I'm doing what I want, this is my setup, you're not getting involved. You can have your say, I'll listen, but it's my decision at the end of the day. And he must have said that coming in, because they were up, we're up a creek without a paddle, weren't we? After Harrogate, we were in big trouble.
Yeah, I'm not sure we even had a boat, let alone a paddle. But yeah, it was hard going, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, I think the stadium point is maybe another one to do with the ownership and everything else. So maybe we'll leave that for now, I think. But, it's quite interesting that, we've got to engage people to go. With the Rochdale, obviously, there was a big number. And Tuesday night, they had a fair few, 5,000, wasn't it, for Bristol? So that was decent for a Tuesday. But, I mean, I saw them down at Exeter down here, because that's quite close to me, and we were absolute garbage. Just everyone was so far from each other as well. The organisation was just terrible. But anyway, we all know it's getting better. The only thing I want to say, I'll just end with, and I'll let you hit us with stats for half an hour if no one else calls.
No, we've got somebody.
We have got another call.
Somebody lined up, actually.
Even more reason for me to shut up. But I think everyone needs to keep calm as well. If we don't have a couple of things go away in the next couple of games, it's not. I know we are deep in it, but tomorrow, for example, could be a tricky one. I think if there is a little setback, we all just need to keep positive and keep going, because in Shez we trust. So that's just a message to everyone, basically. Keep cool. We can still do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally agree. Absolutely. Yeah. I think, we've just got to survive. And again, I think the Scum thought, the team talk was, don't lose, draw, get some form of result. I think tomorrow at Newport, with the confidence that we've got, if we come away with a point, I think we've got to be happy with that. They're a tough team, but they've just had a run of bad form, lost the last two against Forest Green, but Northampton beat them. But they've both been away, so they might want to get a bit of the fans back on side at home. So they'll be I think they'll be really up for it tomorrow. So I think I'm going. So I'll update next week to see how we played. But
there is a chance tomorrow that if results go our way, we could be out at the bottom two, which would psychologically would just be absolutely massive compared to 4 weeks ago. Or 3 or 4 weeks ago at Harrogate, which was, I think we were all ready to just start crying, weren't we? Or we were resigned to National League.
It was bad.
Should we bring Sean in? Do you want to stay on the line, Sam?
Yeah, can do for a couple of minutes, if you want. Yeah.
We'll bring Sean in as well. Hello, Sean.
You all right?
Thanks for joining us, Sean.
No, it's all right, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks. Don't call me Graham Sharp, though, because it's starting to affect my confidence.
That's a new one. I'll do that in work, mate. Don't worry about it.
I tell you what, mate, don't. Am I like Sharp in the early years or Sharp in the end of the Latics era? Right,
no
thank
comment.
you. All right. That's it. All right, okay. I'm going to swing for you. What have you got to say, Sean?
One thing I will say on, I think Chris was first caller when he was saying about Sheridan. I think one thing I was saying the other week is it'd be good for him if we get new owners in, obviously. If he keeps us up, that's him done in it. Just sail off into the sunset, even offering the sports director, well, whatever, director of football, whatever they call it these days, give him that job. someone who knows the lower leagues and knows a lot of players and got a lot of contacts. You've then got the experience for a manager to lean the shoulder on. If we get a young manager in, it's someone else there. It's another barrier in it for someone to just sort of lean on Shez and go, "Yeah, I'm struggling here. What would you do?" kind of thing. I think that'd be a way to go.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout. I think when Mohammed came in as the sporting director, I think he thought that his contacts through the agency was going to be enough to bring through what he needed to bring through. And unfortunately, I don't think that's been the case, has it? And it's been so apparent.
It's not the greatest, is it?
Yeah, and Shez has been able to reach out and bring people in and call on favours and stuff. And I think that's what it's all about. Whether or not he's interested in a position like that or not, we'll have to ask him. But I mean, I know he won't. All he'll say is he's concentrating on this for now, and that's fair enough. And it's the old adage of one game at a time.
Like we were saying, though, you don't want him to. If he stays on next year and then it doesn't go well, it does taint it a bit. And obviously, as Latics fans, no one wants that, do they? Let's be honest. Everyone wants stay up this year, euphoria, new owners, and hopefully there's a bit of hope and a bit of belief in the fan base like there is at the minute. Just try and keep it going.
Yeah, well, I speak to people. Sorry, Sean, go on. Sorry.
I've spoke to you. I know at work, Dave, and just dejection for the last 6 months. And after I went to Harrogate, and after that game, it was just awful. I walked out of there going, "That's it. We're done now. We're done." And even as a football club, could be done. And then
National League, it was like National League, wasn't it?
Yeah. That night, Shez got announced, and all of a sudden, you kind of just looked at it and went, "Hold on a minute, here we go."
I remember sitting on my phone at 9 o'clock, and I saw it come through, and I text you, didn't I? And I was like, "Have you seen that? Is this a wine?" I thought it was like that guy does official OAFC with the 1F, and I thought he's done it again to me. And then literally, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was like a dream. My wife was like, "You're a grown man cheering another man." I was like, it's what it does to you. It's crazy. And then the Rochdale game didn't deserve to win, as I've said, but Shez came out and was just wanted the win. And Scunthorpe and Bristol Rovers, what
one thing I will say on it, I don't think any Latics fan is going to agree with that. Gilles was awful.
No, I'm wearing one of them next week. I'm going to go a bit Salim next week rather than Graham Sharp, and then I'm going to go Warnock with the glasses on the string, and then Benidi with like a really bad wet cut. But
style guru, aren't you?
Style guru. Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, talking about Harrogate and National League and stuff. I mean, I've been trying to get my head around it all season, like trying to, prepare myself for it. And going to Harrogate as a non-league ground is not bad, really. All the stands have got roofs on them. It's all covered. It's it's not the worst. Sam, Weymouth's in Dorset, and they're in the National League, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there's places like that. There's a lot of places that are down south that are very, very small clubs, and it'd be like FA Cup first round every week. And there'll be a lot of Latics fans getting very, very wet because there's no roofs on stands and there's poor facilities and it's a long way. And
we'd have to go to Stockport as well.
They're
not going up.
I think
they are not going up.
I think they're going up.
They're not.
They are. Of course they are.
Should we have a bet?
Of course they are.
They're not going up.
Well,
I hope they don't.
Well, I hope they do if we stay up.
Oh no!
Yeah, because that's a good away. I mean,
Chesterfield. Anyone but Stockport. Can't.
I'm an advocate for Northwest clubs being in the same division because I'm
only joking. I'm just trying to get a bit of needle. I'm only kidding.
Sorry, no, I'd rather Stockport than Weymouth.
Wrexham.
Or I'm all right. Yeah, Wrexham.
Meet Ryan Reynolds.
You don't want those. I mean, to be fair, Stockport's away end's uncovered, isn't it? So you get drenched there, don't you? No, but there are a lot of very, very in the National League. It would wear off very quickly. I think. Is what I'm trying to say.
I was just gonna. It's unthinkable. I mean, it is thinkable in that we've all been thinking about it this year, haven't we? But it is unthinkable once you're down there. It's a long, long way back, as we all know. Ironically, I'd be able to go to a lot more games because a lot of those crappy teams are down near me. But yeah, I mean, it is unthinkable. We just can't. We can't do that.
We said it when we got relegated from League One, though. How many teams? Every team said it when they get relegated. We'll bounce back up, and it hardly ever happens. Straight away, exactly. first next season, hardly ever bounce straight back up. So we'd find it difficult.
We go down and down.
On the podcast. Well, as you mentioned on the podcast as well, you look at the teams at the top of the National League. We're struggling to compete budget-wise and player-wise and everything like that. So we'd struggle still. The only hope we've got is that we've got a proper manager in charge, because I won't trust Salim managing my under-10s.
He took the job, and I'm not going to criticise the guy. His tactics were wrong. He took the job because he was ambitious, I think. And if any manager at youth level gets offered the role of
they're going to take
first team, of course they are, on an interim basis. And if he got 3 wins out of 5, he would have been the next best thing, I think. You know what I mean? But Salford away, we should have beat Barrow. We should have beat Hartlepool. You know, we had chances in them games, but you can't criticise the guy for having a go. You know, Conor Marlin as well, academies, bringing through these players like Couture, Vaughan.
I think he didn't help himself when after the games and he's going, I thought we played, after Harrogate, I watched his interview, he said, I thought we played well. And I thought, you're watching a different game to me. That G there must have been tight. You know,
listen, don't call the G like
I hate that. That's the worst thing you can do, and especially to Oldham fans. Like, it's not
just
what
be
we
honest.
want. Yeah, we want. That's why we like Shez, because he is honest. You get an honest appraisal from it, and it's like I can't get that. Been hearing him say Barrow are a very good team, going round in my head all the time, like, because they're not a very good team. They were awful.
Scottish?
Hey, Sharpie. Barrow a very good team, Sharpie.
Right. I don't know if I fell into that one.
You know, and it was like, they're not a very good team,
No.
and they were there for the taking, but we played for a draw.
Defending a 0-0 draw.
And it was shocking. So,
but we did defend a 1-0 deficit against Harrogate, which I couldn't believe. Defending a 1-0 deficit, and that's when I knew it was over for Salim.
Yeah,
and the
like
fans'
I said, I was there, and that was the worst away end I've ever been involved in. I probably ever will be involved in. It was something else. Like when you go to Latics away, you like when you saw Scunthorpe. You know, it's usually bouncing, singing for 90 minutes, no matter what happens. It was the quietest away end I've ever been involved in. And it was just people arguing. I mean, I was arguing with someone in front of me about the ownership, which I won't get into. But, you know, there were people arguing with each other. And then after the game, like you're saying, there were fans going for the players, just absolutely caning them. Whether they deserved it or not is another argument. But, you know, and you looked at it and you looked at the players and you thought, none of them players are going to be having a go at each other. There were no passion, there were no fight. And then all of a sudden, they seem to have that passion in that fight that if one of them makes a mistake, he's going to get told. Whereas before, it was previously like, oh, well, we've made a mistake. We'll just, you know, on to the next one.
Yeah.
No,
that was the frustrating thing.
They had given up. And we'd given up.
Yeah.
So and that's why this last few weeks has been incredible, because you know, it's like you said, there's never a dull moment at Latics. I mean, apart from the 90 minutes usually, but there's something's always going to change, isn't it? And we weren't expecting that at all, were we? And thank goodness, because there is now hope. Yeah. So
move on to the next one. What do you think we'll get tomorrow at Newport then, Sean? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a tough one. I think we'll get a draw. I think we'll, like we've seen last couple of games, will be tough to beat. We'll make it tough for them to score, and if we can nick one, I think we'll go for it. But yeah, I think if we come away with a draw there, it's a good result again, and it just keeps that momentum going. You know, even if we lost 1-0, I won't be overly disappointed. But
no,
you know, on to that.
Keep the faith, though, mate. Keep the faith.
Pretty sure we'll win 3-0.
I hope so.
It's all sensible. Then a crazy 3-0 at the end. That'll do.
That's it. Yeah, it's very, very measured, and then let's just go for it. Yeah, why not?
The inner Oldham fan come out and go, we'll win 3-0.
Well, thanks, Sam. Really appreciate your time,
no
and
worries.
we will look forward to hearing from you soon. Don't be a stranger. Thanks very much.
Well done, lads.
Okay, and we'll leave you in for a bit there, Sean. We'll bring in to Simon and James now, who have been on the podcast before. How are you doing, Simon?
Yeah, we're good, Matt.
Good stuff. There's James. All right, James.
Hey, mate.
Good.
Do you know who Graham Sharp is, James?
You know Graham
That's
Sharp?
Graham Sharp.
No,
good. He's a very good-looking footballer by all accounts. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
James, were you at the Bristol Rovers and Rochdale games?
Yep.
And Scunthorpe?
No,
Did you go to them all? Not Scunthorpe.
Would have liked to have
Which
been.
is, yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, you were on the podcast because you were sat in front of us at Rochdale away, weren't you? And everyone around us was very impressed by your enthusiasm. How were you on Tuesday night?
Andy as well for the
Yeah.
for the game.
Oh, yeah.
That's because of us, yeah. You were teaching his lads how to shout and scream because you know.
Brilliant.
And the Rochdale game was a bit, I think the wind and it wasn't great, was it? But how did you enjoy Tuesday night against Bristol?
It was really good because Dunn scored in like 40 seconds, and then when it was 2-0, everyone was exploding around us. And then when it got nervy towards the end, but we still
A lot better though, wasn't it?
definitely.
Yeah.
What did you think of the atmosphere in the stadium, James?
Definitely.
It's been bouncing past a couple of games, hasn't it? She's made it.
What about those Atleticos, eh? They're great, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly made it you know, a better experience, and certainly better for you, you know, some of the younger lads to get in, because, you know, we've talked about some of the poor show that's been offered earlier on in the season. It's not really been very sellable, you know, when you say, so we, you know, going to go and watch the football, watch an entertaining game. It just doesn't happen. And getting a bit of atmosphere back in past couple of games has been absolutely superb, especially for you, because the enthusiasm comes back. You know, do you want to go? Yeah, let's go, definitely. And last game, Tuesday night, for a Tuesday night, brilliant.
About 5,000.
Yeah,
yeah, it was brilliant. I have to agree. You know, it was bouncing. Scoring in the first minute always helps, doesn't it? But then to get the second, but you know, Bambula was unlucky, and then Luamba, who was marginally offside, very marginally offside. I thought, you know, we absolutely battered him in the first 25 minutes, but lo and behold, Latics, typical, conceding on half time. How did you feel, James, when Bristol Rovers scored? What did you think?
Yeah, exactly. I think, and coming back to the atmosphere and stuff, like it is a two-way street, and you can't just expect football fans to just enjoy the experience if what they're getting served up is absolutely rubbish week in, week out. And if the atmospheres are caused by large numbers of people being together, aren't they? You need people in there for there to be an atmosphere. It's very difficult in a very cold, wet, windy, empty Boundary Park, you know, when there's not much going on the pitch, for there to be an atmosphere. And I think that the fans responded really well to the effort that the players were putting in, didn't they? And even if they're not playing brilliantly well, the effort that they're putting in does get a response from the fans, doesn't it?
But it helps to have a few shots on goal as well. So, you know, Chez summed it up that first Rochdale game. You know, the amount of people there generated a lot of noise, but there wasn't that much to shout about. You know, conditions were horrible, and you know that didn't help. But on Tuesday, goal in the first minute helps as well, get the crowd up. But there was, you know, how much possession did they have? Like 72% or something like that. But how many clear-cut chances? How many saves did the keepers make? We had 4 or 5 decent efforts, which is probably more than we've had. You know, over how many games were still in?
Yeah, exactly.
And we
totally
had more chances in that one game. And
yeah,
that's what helps get the crowd fit. Even if you're not scoring, be positive. You know?
Yeah.
A few shots.
But that was the thing. But Chez set the team up, didn't he? He's like, he knew that Bristol were going to have a lot of the ball. He knew that we were going to get under a lot of pressure. But the way that Luamba led the line, the way that they got up the pitch a lot quicker, the way that they were a lot more direct, that's why they played really well. Even though they had all that pressure, we played really well. We defended really well, and we attacked really well. And we made those chances. It didn't feel like they had all that possession, because we felt like in the game, it felt like we played better because we made the better chances and could have quite easily won the game by about 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah, I thought Whelan and Missilou had
It should have been 3, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Did you think? What did you think of Whelan's non-goal, James? Sean, did you think it was a goal?
Oh yeah, miles in.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Shades of Lampard in World Cup, weren't it?
Yeah, it was about 4 yards over the line. Even Barton said after the game, didn't he, that the linesman needed to go to Specsavers.
When Barton's saying that, you know it was off the line.
I think Barton has a go at referees anyway. He's a bit of a referee basher, isn't he? You know what I mean? But it was miles over. And if they'd have scored that, I thought when they got that corner in the last minute where it rippled behind the net, because I was sat in the Rochdale Road end, I thought they'd not one in, but the fans all like sort of went, oh, and I was absolutely petrified for that last 2 minutes. I was, timing the referee's 4 minutes on my watch. It was just absolute scary stuff. I couldn't cope.
It does make you wonder why they can't. I mean, that goal line technology that they have in the Premier League with the watch and the ball. I mean, surely they can roll that out through the EFL as well.
It's just cost.
Is it that?
Yes.
Is there no money in football?
55 grand the club needs to pay per game. I think it is
per game.
Yeah,
55 grand a game.
Something really ridiculous, like because of all the sensors and it's big money. It's massive money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But that's what the assistant referees are paid for.
We'll leave it for now, then, I think.
Is it 25 grand if you just have it in one goal?
Well,
save a bit of money.
I don't work for Hawkeye.
I'm thinking on my feet here.
Yeah. Great stuff.
So, what's the next match that you're going to, James?
We're going to miss Bradford, aren't we? We're going to have home game will be after Bradford. I'm not sure what it is.
That's a shame, missing Bradford.
I think it'll be packed, Bradford.
Yeah, it's a shame you're missing Bradford.
Big game. We're not here that weekend, but it'll be a big game.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it will.
Are you going, Sean?
Probably, yeah. Probably go to that one, and then I think the next away one will be, I suppose, Tuesday night about probably Walsall.
Yeah, Tuesday night. Yeah, I'm going to try and get. I'm toying with Colchester, but I'm going to Newport tomorrow, and then it's going to be Walsall. I might be even going to Crawley. I know, but if they keep on winning, getting results, it's the least you can do.
Exactly.
Mad.
Right, we've got one more caller, so we'll say goodbye to you, Sean. Thanks a million for ringing in.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
No worries,
don't be a stranger. Cheers, thanks.
Cheers.
And we'll bring in the Latics Classics podcast. Hang on a minute, what's all this about? Who's there? I can't see you, so
it's Peter. How you doing? Hello, can you hear me?
Peter. Yeah,
I'm
loud and clear.
I'm keeping I'm just putting my audio on today because I've not got all my Russian literature books like arranged behind me properly. So
okay,
fair enough.
You might see my 3-litre bottle of Vimto behind me because I'm in the kitchen, so we don't want to see that. And it's a bottle of cordial.
Painting the picture, right? Okay, doke. Well, welcome, exactly. Peter. Nice. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, what I wanted to talk about is just the niceness. I think I tweeted about it this week, but it's the niceness of being able to talk about people talking about how good Junior is and people talking about how good Pidge is, and not this, sea of misery that's been hanging around so much. And just the air of, it's really early days. It's been a game and a half, but I'm getting well carried away. And it's just fantastic to see after so long, I think.
I totally agree. I mean, Pidge has been my player of the season because he's been the most consistent player. He's the one who's actually left more out there than anybody else all season, throwing himself in front of everything. Not to say he's been, brilliant in every game, but overall, he has, and now he's looking like a decent defender at this level. Luamba, I mean, that's the first
he looked
full game.
I thought.
Like he had it all. He was big, strong, quick, getting into great positions. You're like holding the ball up, linking play up. Fantastic! He had a fantastic game,
and it was a fantastic goal. I was at Scunthorpe, and I didn't really see it going in. It looked so scrappy, and it looked like it was it was going as an own goal. But when you saw it, I mean, all overhead kicks in football are fantastic, but that was just great. And obviously, the actual goal didn't matter, as the commentator said. It was a peach of a goal, and yeah, it's fantastic. And seeing that, I said the other week, after the Scunthorpe game, I said he's not going to turn them into world beaters overnight. But then I went on Tuesday and I mean, it took him 3 nights, but they looked like it, and it's just fantastic. It's fantastic to see around the club, and you could see it all around. You know, the turnstile operators seemed happier. Obviously the social media guys having a great time at the moment. And there's just an air of things about the club, which is, I've not seen it for years, and it's fantastic. And you know, long may it last. We know it's a basket case club. There's loads of scenarios that could happen, but yeah, just enjoy it. I'm going to go down to Walsall tomorrow for the long drive.
Newport.
So yeah, well, I'm going to go
to Walsall if you want.
You can via Walsall.
I've booked in for Walsall and I've booked in for Newport tomorrow. And like I said, if you told me a few weeks ago that I'd be really excited about an 8-hour trip to South Wales, well, I'd be quite excited because it's a trip abroad. But yeah, I mean, I would have thought you were insane. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to go out and say I think we're going to wallop them. I think we're going to go and get something. I really do. At the moment, it feels like full squad back. If we play like we did Tuesday night, we'll win. The Scunthorpe game was weird because first half really did look like the battle of the bottom two. I thought the second half we were a lot better, but it still wasn't a classic performance. But I thought that Tuesday was fantastic. I think we could have scored 4 or 5, and Junior's goal I think looked onside to me. That was an absolute cast iron, no doubt, over the line goal. So yeah, happy days. Really, really pleased to see it all. It's lovely to see it. Rochdale was shite, but I've loved seeing like people I've not seen for 5 years and 10 years come back, and it's great to see. Not 10 years, but a few people have not been back since the Lemstergrams were around. Yeah, great to see. Over to you.
Luamba can finish, can't he? That shot, that offside goal. What a finish that was. The overhead kick. He was very unlucky with that header where the keeper tipped it over the bar.
If he'd put that to any other side, that was going in any day of the week. So
he was just having to get a little bit over it, wasn't he? It wasn't. He had to stretch, didn't he, a bit too much. I think if the cross had been a little bit lower, I think he would have buried it.
But I didn't realise as well that this season's been such a struggle to pay attention, and everything sort of churns into one. But I didn't realise he was until recently that he was an 18-year-old kid up through the youth system. So yeah, lovely to see it. I'd possibly like to see him start tomorrow over Fond. But
I think he's earned a start, hasn't he? He's earned a start, I think, on the performance. I think you just want to come back to something you said there, which was about the Scunthorpe game, the performance and the type of game it was compared to the game against Bristol. And just thinking about the games that we've got going forward, because I think the difference between the game against Scunthorpe was it was two sides that were under pressure. The pressure to not lose that game was massive. And I think the games that we've got, not so much with the Bristol game, because pressure on us, but not on them. And it's a different type of game completely. And I think that going forward, the games that we've got up against Walsall and against Colchester in particular, and Carlisle, we might find that the quality in those games is a bit more like it was against Scunthorpe, where it's a bit more of a scrap. There's a lot more riding on it, and we might. And then I think when we play the teams that are a bit higher up the league,
it's going to be a bit more free.
They might be a bit more open,
a bit more expressive.
Yeah, so
a bit more confidence. We just need to get a result, be it draw, be it win. But the Carlisle game where the pressure's on, like I thought Bristol, if we come away with a draw, we'd be very, very fortunate with our home form. But maybe that's the turning point with Shez. I think he realises how important our home games were. When he used to be manager back in the day, our home form was outstanding, wasn't it? We played really well, in the League Hughes era and stuff like that. Our home form was second to none. So I think he's trying to build on that because,
we make a nice change.
We've got 4 games on the bounce at home coming up. And they're going to be key, I think, to our survival. If we win all them.
But the atmosphere back at Boundary Park. I mean, how long has it been since we've seen that? The main stand was bouncing. Grown men were hugging each other and weeping in the main stand. That's never been seen before in our lives. So it's great to keep the atmosphere up. The Atletico's just going off. It's just brilliant to see. And
exactly.
Yeah. Who knows?
If we have everyone cheering and screaming like James does every week, then we'll be
yes.
Park will be rocking.
We'll get James a drum.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic.
I couldn't cope.
Come on, Simon. Come on.
No, it's great. I mean, it's great. You know, these kind of things, with it's football, with it's phone-ins and things like that. It's up and down, isn't it? You know, what it'd be like next Friday. I think the good thing with the podcast is coming out on Monday. It's going to be, we'll respond to the game, and then the optimism can rise again. Then going up and towards the phone-in on the Friday, because it's up and down as a football fan, isn't it? Especially as a Latics fan. You know, you're up and down all over the place, but that's what keeps us interested in it. Yeah. Just to finish, just because you are calling from the name Latics Classics podcast. You all started a podcast, aren't you, Pete? About
we've done one.
Latics matches.
It's me and Joe. We've just done the pilot, which just went up on Spotify today. And it's Joe's decision to start with the worst moment of all our Latics moments live. So it's the Manchester United 1994 semi-final, and the aim of the podcast is exactly. I said to Joe, no one's going to watch this.
I played in that game.
Of course, yeah. Well, half the podcast is about you. And we, like I said, it was a bit of a therapy session for us, but we enjoyed doing it. So next one will be the sort of episode 1 proper. And we're going to go to, we're not sure what we're going to do yet, but it's more aimed at, it's not like a retrospective match report. We're not interested in just talking about the game. It's more about, well, we will talk about the game, but it's more about the sort of fan experiences and the little stories behind the game and stuff like that. So it's been good stuff. I've been catching.
Brilliant.
I mean, also there's not enough blokes talking about football on podcasts, really, is there? So
there's been a global shortage of late. So so James, when you can get yours started, you know, in a year or two on podcast,
exactly,
and fill the
we
gap.
Don't need that either.
Bound to happen.
Mind you, if
listen,
get him a soundproof room, then I can, you know, pop you in there, and then you can chat away to your heart's content.
Well, we decided we were going to try
and it all out of the football. So, you know, when we go to the ground, that's when you can let it go.
I don't know, he'd sleep for a week after he's been to the football with the amount of energy he puts into it, to be honest. But listen, we decided we're going to keep this to an hour, and we're at an hour now. So let's finish this week's first Latics Football Phone In. We'll say thanks to you, Pete, and good luck with your podcast, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on. And speak soon. Cheers.
Pleasure. Don't be a stranger.
Cheers.
Thanks very much. And we'll finish by asking James for a prediction on tomorrow's game against Newport.
2-0.
What do you think the score's going to be? 2-0. Who's going to score?
Junior and Pujan.
All right. If you're thinking about putting a bet on tomorrow, there you go. James is your man.
Top tip.
Thanks for that. Cheers, lads. Thanks for calling in. And
cheers,
no doubt we'll see you soon. Thanks very
Simon.
much. Enjoy.
Keep the faith. Later. Keep the faith.
Okay, so that just leaves you and me.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for calling in. I was
panicking at the start, I'm not going to lie. But hey, you know, no, it's good. It's good. It's all good.
You know, and I've enjoyed it, to be honest.
I really have, actually. It's been really good.
Yeah, it's been really great.
Refreshing.
Thanks for coming in, getting involved. It appears at this end that it's gone relatively smoothly. So hopefully it has. Watch it back and
we'll see what happens, you know, see what the comments are.
Someone's made a comment, so let's have a quick look at that. Well done, lads, someone said. So we'll take that as another endorsement that it went relatively smoothly. But yeah, it was really good. So
brilliant.
This is what it's all about. Fans, you giving your opinions, chatting about the last. How long have we got left? 20 games or so, 19 games or something like that. So we've got a really exciting end to the season, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to celebrate together, hopefully by the end of it, I hope. So thanks a lot for joining in, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers. Keep the faith.